Hi friends, welcome back. Today what we are going to see is how you can have communication between resources of two different VPCs. You know that to isolate your network in a cloud, you make use of VPC, in which you keep your resources safe from other networks in the cloud. But what if you want to have a communication between resources of two different isolated VPCs? In that case, we have different options available, like we have VPN, or you can use transit gateway, or you can have endpoint services of VPCs. But what we are going to discuss today is how you can make use of VPC peering if you want to connect two VPCs together and need to have communication between resources of them. So as you can see here, we have two VPC A and B, and both the VPCs are in a different subnet. The first VPC is in a 172.31 subnet, whereas the second VPC is 10.0. So we would have an instance available on each VPC here, and we'll try to see how you can build communication by using VPC peering between these two. So to make this video short, already I have just created the one instance in one of the VPC. This is already available, and this instance is in 172.31 subnet here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another VPC here, VPC B, and I'm going to put this instance in the another subnet, that is 10.0.0.16. So let's go and create this second subnet for putting my second instance into it. So let's go to the VPC service, create one VPC here. You can give any name. VPC B I am going to give it, and CIDR what I am going to use is 10.0.0.0/16. Keep the other things as default. Now what next? Create the subnet into it. I'm going to create subnet into VPC B, and what the subnet of VPC B, I will just name it, and what is the CIDR block for this? I'm going to use 10.0.1.0/24 is the subnet for this, and let's keep the other things as default. So we have the subnet created under the CIDR. Now let's go to the routing table and associate the subnet. So we have a routing table here for this VPC B, and let's associate this subnet to it, add it, and associate this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch one EC2 instance under this newly created VPC. So now let's go to the instance and launch one new under this. I'll take a Ubuntu. So let's take the Ubuntu server. Let's keep this default T2 micro, and what I'm going to do is I'll take the newly created VPC for it, and public IP is not required, so let it be same, and I don't need this SSH for the security configuration, but what I need is I need the ICMP from any source. I will keep it for time being and launch this. I'll go without key pair because I don't want to log into this newly created instance, and it's coming up. So let's go and see. it's coming up. So now what I have is, I have one instance which is in 172 subnet and another one is in the 10 running. Just now I created it. So what I'm going to check is the communication from this instance to this instance, and to check this I'll need access of this. I'll take the public IP and I'll use putty. I'll try to access. I'm going to log into my first VPC instance, which is having public IP and also using the key pair for authentication. So going to connect as the Ubuntu user on my first VPC instance, and from here I will try to have a ping to the instance running in another subnet, that is my VPC here. So this instance into other VPC has this private IP, and I'm going to test a ping from my first instance, and it should not be a successful one. So let's go and try it. So you can see it's not pinging. I'm trying to ping from this instance to this instance, and you can see that it is not getting through. So why it is not getting through? Because both the VPCs are isolated from each other and they are not able to communicate by default. So to make it success, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this VPC peering between this VPC A and VPC B. VPC A is nothing but the default VPC, and VPC B is what I have just created. So let's go and create the VPC peering. So what I will do, I'll go to my first VPC first and create the peering connection. So go to my peering connection, create peering, and tag, I can give any tag here, peering to VPC B. And requester is that from which I am creating this connection. This is the default one, which is having this subnet, and this VPC is in my account, and this is in the same region. So I don't have to do anything in this as of now. What I need the VPC ID of the second one, and because this is in the same region, so I can get it from here. This is the VPC where I'm going to have this connection. So create VPC peering. So now you can see that it is being initialized and it is in the pending state. I can just refresh it, and what you can see status is pending acceptance. So this is the VPC which is sending a request to another VPC. You have to go to other VPC and accept this request of connection. So what I need to do, so I need to accept this request. Go to action and accept this. So you can see this VPC is now active. This peering connection is now active. So this peering connection is connecting two VPCs having two different CIDR, this and this. So once this connection has been created between these two, this peering connection is active now. What I need to do, I need to tweak my routing table of both the VPCs so that they point to the correct subnet where they want to reach. So I will go to this VPC and tweak the routing table first. I'll go to the routing table of my default one and add the route. The route what I'm going to add is anything which is going to 10.0.0.0/16, or I can say 8. So this should go to the peering connection, and this is the connection available, and save. The same way I have to tweak the routing table of the other one, and here I can say that edit route, add route, and anything which is going to 172.31.0.0/16, which is a CIDR block for my first VPC, I need to route it to peering connection. Say route. So that's done. I have created this connection, and I have pointed the subnets in the routing table of this to take this peering connection, and this subnet to take this peering connection. Now hopefully if I try to ping from this instance to this, then I should be able to ping it. Now let's go and test the same thing again. Now I need to connect again. Let me find the IP address of my private subnet. So this is my instance in my second VPC. I'll take this IP and try to, or first I need to connect, taking the public IP. Let's go and connect to my first instance. And go to SSH, take the key pair and log in as a Ubuntu, and try to ping from here to that private IP. So that is the destination IP where you want to have the communication. So go to this and try to ping it. So now you can see we are getting the reply, and with this we can see our communication is taking place between these two instances which are located in two different VPCs. So that's the goal of this demo, how we can have communication between resources of two different VPCs which has been connected together by using the VPC peering connection, and these peering connections can be created within the same region or between different region, or it also can be created with the VPC which is in another account, AWS account, whether that is in the same region or in a different region. So what we have seen today is how we can create this peering between the VPCs of the same region of same account. In my next video I will show you how you can do the same thing once your VPC is located into the different AWS account and in the different regions. So thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day.